How's it going, everybody? Today I'm doing a Sega Genesis game. This is Sonic the Hedgehog 2, but it might be a little bit different from the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 you're used to. This is actually Sonic 2 Beta, which essentially is a development version of the game that was leaked back in the 90s, and it was sort of a legendary thing back then. There are all sorts of crazy rumors going around on the GeoCities and Tripod fan sites if you were a kid growing up in the 90s, as I was. And there's some fairly interesting things here. So what I actually wanted to do was go through and sort of show off some of the stuff that was different, some of the stuff that was unfinished, and some of the stuff that just didn't make its way into the final game, because I thought that would be an interesting thing to do. Probably we'll be getting around to doing a proper Sonic playthrough at some point, as Sonic was pretty much my game as a kid. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. This is the level select screen, and you'll notice there are a few things different. For instance, we got Dust Hill Zone, which is in fact Mystic Cave. I believe that's the name of the cave level, yeah. Neo Green Hill Zone is actually Aquatic Ruin. And then there are a few that didn't make their way in. Wood Zone, Hidden Palace Zone, and then Genocide City. So first of all, let's check out some of the zones that are a little bit different, and then we'll check out some of the stuff that was left out completely. So let's hop into Oil Ocean Zone. You'll notice that a lot of the music wasn't ready yet, so or either that or was changed, so they're in fact using the some of the two-player music. I believe this was Casino Night Zone's music in the two-player mode. Anyways, you'll also notice the oil in the background is in fact flowing backwards, which is interesting. Some of Sonic's animations are a little bit different. You'll notice like this run, when he starts running, is a little bit different. There's no cloud of dust behind the spin dash. There's a different skidding animation, and Tails can float in the air without doing anything. You'll notice this when I try to stop myself, if I can actually do that. That's a little bit different. As far as what else didn't make its way into the final game, we got these things. That's kind of odd, but hey, that's a thing that's in the game apparently. There's no fire or anything underneath those. You'll also notice there are no enemies or anything in this build. Some of the levels are a bit more finished than others, but some of them, like this one, are pretty rough still. These things will not kill you, by the way. You'll just sort of glitch through the wall. Anyways, let's hop back out and check out another zone. That ring sound is me entering the code for debug mode, which, if you have played a Sonic game before, and yeah, Casino Night is pretty jacked up, look at that. If you've played a Sonic game before on the Genesis, you know that most of them included this debug mode that you could access via a cheat code. It was basically a developer tool that helped you clip through objects, place things to test them, and that sort of thing. So, conveyor belts? Nope, not pushing us. Color palette is just totally jacked up, and I don't know what the deal is with the background. It's just really weird. You'll see a lot of the framework is in place. It's just really, really odd the way everything is sort of put together. These are those elevator things, but they're not in yet. Bumpers don't work. All in all, yeah, everything's a little bit weird. Let's check out... Let's see, what else was weird in these zones. Well, let's hop into Mystic Cave, or Dust Hill. It's pretty close to how you remember it, probably. The beginning here is probably a little bit more cruel than you remember. Hey! You also notice that because I rolled into those, I didn't actually die when I touched them, which is different, to say the least. But there are no rings in this level. And some of the graphics are a little bit screwed up. Other than that, it's pretty close to the final version. Okay, so let's check out some of the zones that didn't make it in. First of all, we got the wood zone. Now again, I'd just like to say, remember, this is not a hack, this has not been modified in any way. This is stuff that's legitimately on the disc, or cartridge, not disc. So all this art was actually created for the game. You notice it's using the Metropolis Zone music. And you really do have to use debug mode on this level because it's pretty screwed up. For instance, this is actually impassable. I mean, you can fall off to your death, but we don't want to do that. Let's go back up here. There's nothing this way, so there wasn't a lot done on this level, but you can sort of see, if we go up here, there's actually some more platforms. So you can sort of imagine this was going to be like a multi-tiered level where you would have to jump across platforms, maybe backtrack a little bit. Once again, we got conveyor belts that don't work, and that's about it for this one. If you hop into the second act, it just drops you to your death. Is this zone? Genocide City. Yeah, that's an actual thing. And this is it. Genocide City indeed. Seems somewhat appropriately named. Rumor has it that this level was taken out because the name was a little bit controversial. I can see that. I don't know how accurate that actually is. And now, probably the coolest thing is the Hidden Palace Zone. Now this ended up making its way into Sonic & Knuckles, or Sonic 3, depending on what country you were in. But this is the most finished of all the zones. You'll notice it's using Mystic Cave's theme. It has its own enemies, most of the entities are in place, and the physics work fairly well. Fairly well. You still get stuck in some places. But it's a pretty cool zone, and again, remember, this is actually in the game. This has not been hacked or anything. You got these bat things in addition to those weird T-Rex guys. Those enemies. Another funny thing, we got these bridges, which are very cool. Another funny thing is the music was still not finished, so normally when you get 100 rings you get an extra life, right? And it plays a little jingle. Well, in this version, when you get an extra life, it changes to the Death Egg Zone music, like so. Pretty weird. Actually kind of freaked me out the first time it happened. I was like, what's happening? It's kind of a shame this got taken out, because this looks like a really cool zone. And there's sort of an interesting little tidbit where on the level select, you know how you can see pictures of the... is that the Master Emerald? Who knows? You can see pictures of the zones. Well, there was a trick on the Genesis where if you wanted to access Sonic 3's level select, you could put in Sonic 2, get to the level select, and then actually remove the cartridge and put in Sonic 3 very carefully, and it would give you that level select. But when you did that, it would show... There's a little bit more to this level, but you have to debug mode to get to it. These don't push us or anything. You would see the pictures of the Sonic 2 levels, so like for Angel Island Zone, which is the first stage in Sonic 3, but you would see Emerald Hill, the picture of Emerald Hill. Well, if you did that, one of the zones would actually show a picture of this zone. So it's just sort of proof that it is actually in the actual finished cartridge, which is kind of interesting. I think that's about it for this zone. I don't think it goes on any further, so that's about it. If you hop into the second act of that, it will actually be... Where is it? It actually starts you in a wall, but if you debug mode through the wall, it's actually the same as Act 1. It just doesn't have any of the entities. So no rings, no enemies. Those actually those platforms even that we jumped on are not here. Those would normally be right here. And the physics seem a little bit buggier. So it's basically just Act 1. It was unfinished. Okay, so did I miss anything? A lot of these zones just flat out don't work. Like if you hop into Death Egg Zone, it'll just drop you to your death. Wood Zone Act 2 drops you to your death. Metropolis Zone, I believe, works. Yeah. Just kind of a little bit different and unfinished, but it does work. So now, oh yeah, those were in the game. I didn't remember those, but they are actually in the final game. So now what I'd like to do is go ahead and just play through the game, and we'll see how that goes. So you'll notice that the first level is Neo Green Hill, or Aquatic Ruin. You have to be a little bit careful in these because the physics are a little bit more buggy, so you will fall through floors and such. So it's a little bit scary. But some of the stuff, and they do that. Pretty lame. Can I actually make it through? Especially on this level, I'd recommend taking the high path. Just so that doesn't happen. Oh, almost made that. At any rate, a lot of the stuff is just a little bit different. You notice the splash animations are pretty bizarre. Those are obviously unfinished as well. And there is one boss at the end, which is very anticlimactic, but I'm not gonna spoil it. Not that there's really much to spoil. There we go. You notice I can sort of control Tails, like he's mirroring me, but it's a little bit sluggish. Okay, first thing you need to know about Act 2. Normally you can fall down on this part and just go to another part of the level. Nope, there is nothing down there, so you will die. Do not fall down there. Otherwise, horrible, horrible things will happen to you. If you were very familiar with Sonic 2, you will also notice that a lot of the music is just slightly different. Like it doesn't quite have that polish on it that you would expect, or that you would recognize if you've played Sonic 2 a great deal. So it's pretty strange. I tell you guys, when I first got to play this, which was it would have been several years ago, in fact. But hearing about this, as a kid, it was something I was really excited about because I was big on Sonic and I was always into those weird rumors. Second stage level is Chemical Plant, just as in regular Sonic 2. Still has that rockin' music. And everything seems to work fairly well. Let's go this way. I am sort of... I've actually only played through this once. I am sort of nervous that I'm gonna just run off a ledge and die, as seems to happen. So you'll notice neither one of these levels so far have had any enemies. And I think there are only like 4 stages total, so this isn't going to take a great deal of time. Not all the stages that are in the level select ended up making it into the rotation here. Well, it's not really a rotation, it's more like a progression, I suppose. So, I would like to start doing more classic games because I grew up with them. And although I'm pretty much exclusively a PC gamer nowadays, yeah, that's still there. I did grow up with a lot of these Sega games, and to a lesser extent Nintendo games. So I'd like to start doing some of those, as they are things that I very much like, and I've done a few already on my channel. But I'd like to continue going with that. You may notice that I'm actually doing this in 720p. Should be 720p. It's like 960 by 720 instead of 1280, I think, just because the Genesis doesn't actually run in widescreen. Hopefully it comes through as 720p once I upload it to YouTube. We'll see. But, last little while, I've been trying to start pumping out some better quality stuff, and hopefully it shows. I would appreciate it if you guys would let me know what you think about the quality, because I think it looks much better than my old stuff. But if there's something else you guys think could be done or whatever, I'd love to hear it. One thing I noticed is that these platforms are actually smaller than in the final build of the game. Probably figured it was just a little bit mean. You do have to be a little bit more careful with them. Watch out on this part, because in the full version when you get dropped down there, there's actually a thing you land on, but I don't think there is in this one. Ugh, those narrow platforms make me nervous. And no boss, so we don't have to worry about falling into the water. I did think it was kind of funny in Sonic Generations when Tails makes the comment about the water being gross. Hilltop Zone. One of my personal favorites, actually. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just, there's something really nice about the music and just the design and everything. Yeah, one thing I didn't mention was that when Tails gets hit, he actually drops your rings. So I'm glad they got rid of that for the final release, because it's pretty annoying. Yeah, I don't know what it is about this level, but there's something just really cool about it. I heard somebody describing the music, and they said it's like, it's really like melancholy in some way, and I guess that's kind of accurate. I don't know what it is about it. Whoops. Pro Sonic player here. Those still work, that's interesting. Let's go grab that. I think this level's pretty close to how it ended up. Ooh, masterful. There's some differences, obviously. This is one of the more finished zones. Ah, crap. No. Come on. I sort of wish I had debug mode active just for moments like these. Yep, I actually knew that was going to happen, so I don't know why I jumped down there. Okay. Not much else to say about this level besides it's fantastic. And there you have Act 1. You also notice that when you finish the stage, it actually takes less time to get to the next level because it's not adding up your score. It's kind of funny. I'm going to stay towards the top of the level as much as I can, just in case I end up falling through the floor. What in the heck just happened? I swear I fell into the lava. Oh well. Not complaining. Whoops. I used to always do this. There's something about racking up points like that that's very satisfying. I suppose that's how slot machines and Call of Duty work. Alright, now the fun part. Aw, Tails! Why? So yeah, I had a ring, but yeah, we're starting over at the beginning, aren't we? But because Tails got hit, he actually lost my ring, which then made it where I got killed as soon as I touched something. Brilliant. This is one of those times when you will actually very much wish that Tails was not around. And Tails was always my favorite character back in the day. Yep, I know nobody liked Tails, but I did. Apparently that's how indie I am. Ah. Stop. Oh, I thought I was on a different part. I wasn't paying attention. I'm all sitting there waiting for it. Derp. He's just gonna keep falling down and losing my rings. Oh well, no biggie. We made it out. Please, no, nothing kill me. Rings, please. There we go. We're good. Now I could go for the jump there, but I'm not going to, because I don't remember exactly how it is down there. Sort of an odd place for that, but we're moving on. Tails just getting killed. Alright, so this is actually the last level in the game. Emerald Hill, or... What in the world? Yep, those weren't in the final game. The weird snail turtle things. Very strange. Instead of monkeys, we got snail turtles. Can't say I disapprove of the change, I guess. This level does actually have a boss, and spoilers, it is in fact just the Emerald Hill boss. Oh, there's nothing through there, forgot about that. So it's a little bit disappointing, but nonetheless. Somebody had to show it. I don't know, shoot, maybe this has been done before on YouTube, but wanted to get the word out because I find it very interesting. Hey, Act 1. And this is it. Final part of the game. Next time I see one of those things, I'll get a better look at it. They're very strange. Whoops. Or I'll just kill it like that. That'll work. I'm gonna walk slowly in case I see another one. Ah, okay. Sorry, guys. There, okay. So yeah, pretty strange. Even though he has spikes on his back, you can jump on him and it doesn't do anything. Alright, boss time. Yeah. No sound effects. Come on. Stop dropping my rings, Tails. Oh, that's not good. Whoa! He also doesn't explode, he just gets up and leaves. So that's it! That was Sonic the Hedgehog 2 Beta. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this one. I think it's a pretty interesting little thing. Just seeing the differences and such. Obviously it's more interesting if you know a lot about Sonic 2, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to be doing more classic games, probably some proper playthroughs. Let me know what you thought, and I will see you guys next time. Till then.